Hey everyone! Welcome to the very first episode of Room for You, a side quest to self. This is something I've been slowly building toward for a while now, and I'm really glad you're here for it. I love creating safe places and communities, and I hope this podcast becomes another one of those. A door that stays open for me and for you. I want to create spaces where people feel safe, comfy, and allowed to be themselves, where your voice matters and you don't have to shrink to fit in. So, before we get into anything else, my name is Talkative Nami-chan, or you can just call me Nami if that feels right. Welcome to my podcast, and thank you so much for clicking on this and taking the time to listen. Now, let's get back into it. I want to say something important. If you were ever told you were too much, too sensitive, or just weird, nothing was wrong with you. Nothing. There's no fixing required here. This episode is for anyone who grew up feeling out of place and carried that feeling with them longer than they should have had to. I was always called weird, odd, the outcast, simply for being me. For a long time, I carried that like proof. Proof that something about me needed fixing. But the truth I've learned, feeling like an outcast usually just means you're unsupported. That's it. From a young age, I was drawn to Japanese culture. Manga, anime, cosplay. These worlds made room for big feelings, imagination, softness, and intensity all at once. They didn't tell you to tone it down. They let characters feel deeply, love deeply, grieve deeply, fight deeply. And I loved that. I loved being able to see versions of myself reflected in these stories. I love finding a space where sensitivity and passion weren't flaws, they were strengths. Anime has something magical. It teaches resilience without preaching. From Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Little Witch Academia, Gurren Lagann, and so many more. All these stories center around characters who persevere, who do what's right, who protect their people, even when the odds are impossible. Take My Hero, for example. Deku was quirkless at first, but All Might guided him with patience and care. Deku kept believing in his journey, showing compassion for everyday people, wanting to become a hero to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. In Black Clover, Yami built a team out of outcasts and misfits, teaching them to never give up. He encouraged them every day to be themselves, work together, and believe that hard work pays off. Asta is living proof of that. He works really hard, and at the end of the day, he still wants to become the Wizard King. That is his goal, and nothing's gonna stop him. Not even the issue of not having power or any semblance of magic like the other people in the kingdoms. And in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, each JoJo is morally complex, often cast out, yet guided by those who see their potential. Bruno showing up for his team over and over and over again in Part 5. Jolene refusing to quit in Part 6, slowly building her gang and encouraged and supported them no matter how hard things got. They built resilience, community, and kindness through the most outrageously bizarre circumstances you can imagine. These stories help me understand that being different doesn't make you weak. It can make you incredibly strong. And more than anything, they showed me what real community looks like. Cosplay became another way to explore that freedom. Stepping into characters who felt confident, powerful, gentle, or deeply relatable gave me a kind of freedom I didn't always feel in everyday life. It wasn't about pretending to be someone else. It was about finally feeling allowed to be more of myself. It also opened up a whole world of conventions and of finding my people. I remember at Otakon, I bumped into my friends in person for the first time. We were online friends for a while. We collabed through some video game and cosplay stuff online. And when I saw them for the first time, it wasn't planned at all. It was such a good moment. And it's always an amazing moment at cosplay conventions when you end up meeting people that you've chatted with online by not even meaning to or planning to. It's such an experience that honestly, I can't explain to you unless you've experienced it for yourself when it comes to finding your people through your fandoms or whatever way you choose to find them. We talked for so many hours that day when we were there, and it was just. The moment felt like comfort, connection, and community all at once. Some of my closest friends I have today I met through anime, and those people have been in my life for over 10 years and counting now. I want to carry that same energy into everything I do. This podcast, Twitch, YouTube, even casual chats online. I want to create spaces where people feel safe, comfy, and allowed to be themselves. I've had friends who showed up for me when I was at my lowest. My friends took me in for 3 months when I left an unhealthy relationship. They weren't asked to do it. They didn't see me as selfish. They saw someone who needed safety and support. That contrast taught me something I've ever held on to ever since. When someone labels you as selfish or too much, it's often about their own discomfort with your needs, not a flaw in you. I carry that same principle in my streams now. I want everything I build to be participatory, a place where my community helps me make decisions, geeks out with me over anime, cosplay, or Japanese culture, or even just when we hang out together and chat. This isn't about me showing off, it's about me creating belonging in real time, and everyone is part of the story. Everyone's important. In the same sense of belonging, I feel that the relief of finally being able to take up space was something I found in creativity along with my community. I almost forgot where I was going with that sentence there. My bad. Art has always taught me freedom. It's subjective, fluid, and full of possibilities. Painting, writing, music, fashion, cosplay, movement, all of it is language for expressing yourself. None of it's too much, none of it's wrong. And the more you embrace it, the more you realize that your voice, your feelings, your quirks, they're not liability, they're yours. They're valid, and you need to embrace that because that's what makes you you. That same sense of belonging, that feeling of finally being able to allow to take up space, is something I've also found in creativity. And it's the best thing about art that there is that there's nothing wrong about it. It's all subjective. It's whatever you feel is art to you. And whatever you feel is art to you, you get to make and do whatever you want. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. I'm also a licensed beautician of almost 10 years now. I love being able to help others feel great about themselves. I've been drawing and doing crafts since I was a child. I have some tattoos and piercings. I wear what I like for me. And somewhere along the line, I found a whole culture built on that same exact energy, which I felt completely at home. It was cosplay, fashion, makeup, hairstyles, wigs, Harajuku, Decora, Lolita, Gyaru fashion. They all drew me in because they were all built on the same idea. There's no such thing as too much. Expressive, colorful, whimsical, against the norm. That's exactly my vibe. Body autonomy is very important to me. And it further helps me reclaim that. And cosplay just happens to take all my favorite mediums and combines them into one. It takes that freedom even further. It's hands-on, expressive, and endlessly personal. It's a way to discover yourself through making and becoming. Cosplay is like a love letter to your favorite character. If you're listening and recognizing any of this, if you've been called too much, too sensitive, or just weird, I want you to hold this with you. Nothing was wrong with you. You weren't broken. You weren't behind. You were early, growing in places that didn't yet know how to hold you. That's not a flaw. Sometimes that's the beginning. You're still becoming you, at your own pace. My question for you is, when was the last time you felt completely at home in who you are, and what made that possible? My answer is that I finally know what belonging feels like now. It's because I wake up to it every single day. I wake up to my husband and my dog with his never-ending encouragement and support to keep going with my creativity and happiness. He tells me he loves me and appreciates me multiple times a day. Sometimes it's not a moment or a place, it's a person. A consistent, safe, daily presence that just keeps showing up. Which means, speaking of people, next time we're going to talk about finding your party. The people who actually get you and what it feels like when you finally stop searching. Thank you so much for joining me for my very first episode of my podcast, Room for You, A Side Quest to Self. I've been working so hard on it, and I've been so excited to finally put my creativity out there. Please like, share, and comment. It really does help others read how my series influences all of you, and it also helps me receive feedback so I can know where to take my episodes and what you all enjoy. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope to see you on my next episode.